Yes, you're welcome. I'm going to be talking about imagination, the workshop of the mind, the fifth step to riches. Imagination is literally the workshop wherein our faction, our plans created by people, the impulse, the desire is given shape, form, and action through the aid of the imaginative faculty of the mind. It has been said that we can create anything we can imagine. Of all the ages of civilization, this is the most favorable for the development of the imagination because it is an age of rapid change. Wherever we come into contact with stimuli that develop the imagination through the aid of the imaginative faculty, humankind has discovered and harnessed more of nature's forces during the past 50 years than during the entire history of the human race. Previous to that time, we have conquered the air so completely that the birds are so poor match for us in flying. We have harnessed the ether and made it serve as a means of instantaneous communication with any part of the world. We have analyzed and weighed the sun at a distance, millions of miles, and have determined through the aid of imagination, the element of which is consist. We have discovered that our own brain is both a broadcasting and a receiving station for the vibration of thought, and we are beginning now to learn how to make practical use of this discovery. We have increased the speed of locomotion until we may now travel at a speed of more than 600 miles an hour. Our only limitation within reason lies in the development and use of our imagination. We have not yet reached the apex of development in the use of our imaginative faculty. We have merely discovered that we have an imagination and have commenced to use it in a very elementary way. The two forms of imagination. The imaginative faculty functions in two forms. One is key, one is no, as synthetic imagination, and the other is creative imagination. Synthetic imagination, through this faculty, one may range old concepts, ideas, or plans into new combinations. This faculty creates nothing, it merely works with the material of experience, education, and observation with which it is fed. It is the faculty used most by the inventor, with the exception of the genius who draws upon the creative imagination when they cannot solve a problem through synthetic imagination, creative imagination through the faculty of creative imagination. The infinite mind of mankind has direct communication with infinite intelligence. It is the faculty through which hushes and inspirations are received. It is by this faculty that all basic or new ideas are developed. It is through this faculty that thoughts, vibration from the minds of others are received. And it is through this faculty that one individual may tune into or communicate with the subconscious mind of others. The creative imagination works automatically in the manner described in subsequent page. This faculty functions only when the conscious mind is vibrating at an exceeding rapid rate. As for example, when the conscious mind is stimulated through the emotions of a strong desires, the creative faculty becomes more alert, more receptive to develop true use. Indeed, both the synthetic and creative faculty of imagination become more alert with use, just as any muscle or organ of the body develop through use. Your imaginative faculty may have become weak through inaction. It can be revived and made alert through use. This faculty does not die. though it may become quiescent through lack of use. This statement is significant. Ponder on it before continuing. Keep in mind as you follow these principles that the entire story of how one may convert desire into money cannot be told in one statement. The story will be complete only when one has mastered, assimilated, and begun to make use of all the principles. The great leaders of business, industry, and finance, and other great artists, musicians, poets, and writers become great because they develop the faculty of creative imagination. Desire is only a thought, an impulse. It is the nebulous and ephemeral. It is abstract and of no value until it has been transformed into his physical counterpart, while the synthetic imagination is the one used most frequently in the process of transforming the impulse of desire into money. You must keep in mind that you may face circumstances which demand use of the creative imagination as well. Center your attention for the time being on the development of the synthetic imagination, transformation of the intangible impulse of desire into the tangible reality of money calls for the use of a plan or plans. These plans must be formed with the aid of the imagination and merely with the synthetic faculty. Read the entire book through, then come back to this chapter and begin at once to put your imagination to work on building a plan or plans for the transformation of your desire into money. Detailed instruction for building plans have been given in almost every chapter. Carry out the instruction best suited to your needs. Put your plans in writing if you have not already done so. The moment you complete this, you will have definitely giving concrete form to the intangible desire. Read the preceding sentence once more. Read it aloud, very slowly as you do so. Remember that the moment you put in writing the statement of your desire and a plan for his realization, you have actually taken your desire and a plan, actually taking the first of a series of steps that will enable you to convert the thought into his physical counterparts, the earth on which you live. You yourself and every other material things are the result of evolutionary change through which microscopic bits of matter have been organized and arranged in an orderly fashion. Moreover, and this statement is of stupendous importance, this earth, every one of the billions of individual cells of your body and every atom of matter began as an intangible form of energy. Desire is a thought impulse. Thought impulse are forms of energy. When you begin with the thoughts impulse, desire to accumulate money, you are drafting into your service the same stuff that nature used in creating this earth and every material form in the universe, including the body and brain in which the thought impulse functions. As far as science has been able to determine, the entire universe consists of both two elements, matter and energy. Through the combination of energy and matter has been created everything perceptible, from the largest star that floats in the heavens down and including humankind. You are now engaged in the task of trying to profit by nature's method. You are sincerely and earnestly, we hope, trying to adapt yourself to nature's law by endeavoring to convert desire into his physical and monetary equivalent. You can do it. It has been done before. You can do it. It has been done before. You can build a fortune through the aid of immutable laws. But first, you must become familiar with these laws and learn to use them through repetition and by approaching the description of these principles from every conceivable angle. The author hopes to reveal to you the secret through which great fortunes have been accumulated. Strange and paradoxical as it may seem, the secret is not a secret. Nature himself and adversities it on the earth on which we live, the stars, the planets suspended within our view, in the elements above and around us, in every blade of grass and every form of life within our vision. Nature advers- adversities, the secret in the terms of biology, in the form of a pin into the human being. Now, reading this line, the conversation of desire into his physical equivalent is certainly no more miraculous. Do not become discouraged if you do not fully comprehend all that has been stated, unless you have long been a student of the mind. It is not to be expected that you will assimilate all that is in the chapter upon a first reading, but you will, in time, make good progress. The principles that follow will open the way for an understanding of imagination. Assimilate that which you understand. As you read this philosophy for the first time, then when you reread and study it, you will discover that something has happened to clarify it and give you a broader understanding of the whole. Above all, do not stop nor hesitate in your study of these principles until you have read the book at least 3 times, for then you will not want to stop. How to make practical use of imagination. Ideas are the beginning point of all fortunes. Ideas are products of the imagination. Let us examine a few well-known ideas that have yielded huge fortune, with the hope that these illustrations will convey definite information concerning the method by which imagination may be used in accumulating riches. The, the, the heated kettle. Many years ago, an old country doctor drove to town, hitched his ox, quietly slipped into a drug store by the back door, and began tinkering with the young drug clerk. His mission was destined to yield great wealth to many people. It was destined to bring to the South the most far-flung benefit since the Civil War. For more than an hour behind the prescription counter, the old doctor and the clerk talked in low tones. Then the doctor left. He went out to the boozy and brought back a large old-fashioned kettle and a big wooden paddle used of stirring the content of the kettle, and deposited them in the back of the store. The clerk inspected the kettle, reached into his inside pocket, took out a roll of bills, and handed it over to the doctor. The roll contained exactly $500, the clerk's entire savings. The doctor handed over a small slip of paper on which was written a secret formula. The words on that small slip of paper were worth a king's ransom, but not to the doctor. Those magic words were needed to start the kettle boiling, but neither the doctor nor the young clerk knew what fabulous fortune were desired to flow from that kettle. The old doctor was glad to sell the outfit for $500. The money would pay off his debt and give him freedom of mind. The clerk was taking a big chance by staking his entire life savings on a mere scrap of paper and an old kettle. He never dreamed his investment would start a kettle overflowing with gold that would surpassed the miraculous performance of Aladdin's lamp. What the clerk really purchased was an idea. The old kettle and the wooden paddle and the secret message on a slip of paper were incidental. The strange performance of that kettle began to take place after the new owner mixed with the secret instruction, an ingredient of which the doctor knew nothing. Read this story carefully and give your imagination a test. See if you can discover what it was that the young man needed to the secret message which caused the kettle to overflow with gold. Remember, as you read, that this is not a story from Arabian Nights. Are you here? You have a story of facts, stranger, stranger than fiction, facts which begin in the form of an idea. Let us take a look at the vast fortune of gold this idea has produced. It has paid and still pays huge fortune to men and women all over the world who distribute the content of the kettle to millions of people. The old kettle is now one of the world's largest consumer of sugar. Turks provided jobs of a permanent nature to thousands of men and women engaged in growing sugar cane and in refining and marketing sugar. The old kettle consumes annually millions of glass bottles, providing job to huge numbers of glass workers. The old kettle giving employment to an army of clerks, copywriters, and advertising experts throughout the nation. It has brought fame and fortune to scores of artists who have created magnificent pictures describing the product. The old kettle has converted a small southern city into the business capital of the South, which now benefits directly or indirectly every business and practically every resident of the city. The influence of this idea now benefits every civilized country in the world, pouring out a continuous stream of gold to all who touch it. Gold from the kettle built and maintains one of the most prominent colleges of the South, where thousands of young people receive the training essential for success. The old kettle has done other marvelous things all through the depression of the 1930s when factories, banks, and businesses, houses were folding up and quitting by the thousand. The owner of this enhanced kettle went marching on, giving continuous employment to an army of men and women all over the world and paying out extra portion of gold to those who, who long ago had faith in this idea. If the product of that old brass kettle could talk, it would take it would tell thrilling tales of romance in every language, romance of love, romance of business, romance of professional men and women who are daily stimulated by it. The author is sure of at least one such romance, for he was a part of it. And it all began not far from the very spot on which the drug clerk purchased the old kettle. It was here that the author met his wife, and it was she who first told him of the enhanced kettle. It was the product of that kettle they were drinking when he asked her to accept him for better or worse. Now that you know the content of the enhanced kettle is a world famous drink, it is fitting that the author confess that the home city of the drink supplied him with a wife, also that the drink itself provides him with stimulation of thought without intoxication, and thereby serve to give the refreshment of refreshment of mind. And an author must have to do his best work. Whoever you are, wherever you may live, whatever occupation you may be engaged in. Just remember in the fortune, every time you see the word Coca-Cola, that is vast empire of wealth and influence grew out of a single idea, and that the mysterious ingredient, the drunk clerk, Asa Candler, mixed with the secret formula was imagination. Stop and think about that for a moment. Remember also that the 13th step to riches described in this book were the media through which the influence of Coca-Cola has been extended to every city, town, village, and crossroad of the world. Any idea you may create as sound and meritorious as Coca-Cola has the possibility of duplicating the suspenders record of this worldwide test killer. Truly, thought are things, and their scope of operation is the word itself. Yeah, I think I'm going now. You heard me right. Please ponder on this book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. God Christ Guru. Oh, 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 Santi, 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 peace. Amen.